So good morning and welcome to another grey and grizzly day up here in Warrington. Well into the November winter weather now, so the roads are damp and greasy most of the time, which is fantastic. So today, just out on a little rough ride on the shotgun off to Bolton. Actually going to test ride a Maving electric bike. Something I've been waiting patiently for is the Flying Flea, with a kind of half a mind to using one as a commuter bike, but still no launch dates. And I noticed that Maving, who have been predominantly southern based, I think they're kind of London based showrooms, now are offering test rides from the northwest. There's only one centre in Bolton, which is about half an hour away from me, well, 45 minutes. So yes, that's my plan for this morning. Just go off and have a ride on one of those and see what it's about. On the way, I thought I'd take the shotgun. We're still running in. As you can see, I've managed a lofty 75 miles on the odometer. I was really hoping to have had it up to 300 by now to get it back for service, but weather has really not been great at all. It's been wet and freezing. The last few days it's been sub-zero. I've had the Himalayan out a few times. I'm a lot more confident on that in the wet and greasy weather than I am on this. Even this morning, it's a little bit disconcerting. I think the weight of it and the movement of it versus the Himalayan is not as confidence inspiring in the wet. That's fine, because I don't plan to ride this through winter really. I just want to get it run in and serviced for now. But yeah, still absolutely loving it. From the second I open the garage and see it to firing up, it is a wonderful machine. So very happy to have it. Interesting video from BugMoto. He's just got his new V7 Sports and he's running in as well. And there's lots of mixed advice, isn't there? So as you saw in the manual about only riding for 1 hour, not exceeding certain speeds to try and keep the revs low, no rev counter, so it's difficult to know on the revs. But I do kind of prescribe to the just don't mistreat it, just kind of ride it normally to a degree. You want a mix of speeds and mix of roads. What I haven't been doing, I haven't been using it to go to work on, because quite often I just sit down at a steady speed down the motorway, so I haven't want to be doing that with it. But yeah, I think kind of riding normally, I'm not going to push it, but equally I'm not going to baby it. I'm naturally babying it today a little bit anyway because of the weather, but yeah, I think these engines are pretty robust. Certainly I've had a couple of ex-demo bikes and I've had no issues with those, and clearly they're not going to be treated that kindly. So it does make you wonder what can possibly go wrong if you do mistreat them, but so far no concerns. So last week, obviously the Motorcycle Live has just finished as of last weekend. I was lucky enough I pre-booked my day off work some time ago, so I was able to get down there last Wednesday. And yeah, bigger and better than ever, I would say. Last year, I think I was a little bit lucky. I happened to be working down in Birmingham, so I stayed locally at the NEC and just walked in the following morning, and there was quite a lot of snow. And I think that made it very, very quiet. Certainly walking around for the first hour or so, there was no one on the stands. It was very, very quiet. This year, it was a struggle to even park, and then once you're in the halls, it was just busy the entire time. But it was great to see that. I mean, it's really nice to see an invigorated motorcycle market, if that's what's happening. I mean, possibly it could be partly a result of the MCN one that happens at XL in January normally. The 2025 one was the last one. They're no longer doing it, so I wonder if there's more people made the trip to the NEC on the basis of there won't be that option in January. But either way, yeah, really good to see, and I hope that show continues for a long time yet. Just noticed, don't know why, my Tripper app is for some reason registering my distances in kilometres, which is interesting. I think the app updated the other day, so there must be something in the settings I need to change back into miles. I'll have to have a look at that. Yeah, good little tripper pod this. I do miss the full mapping, but yeah, this serves purpose perfectly well and avoids me having my phone on the bars. It's like an oil slick today on the roads. It's just there's slime everywhere. So yes, Motorcycle Live. What did I see there? Well, I didn't do any recording there, mainly because it's such a busy environment. I hadn't planned to be fair. I didn't even take the camera, but I don't think I could have done if I wanted to. I just wanted to go and enjoy the day and have a good look around, see on as many bikes as I could, have a look at what's new and coming up. I also had to do some shopping for some new gear, so yeah, it was a busy old day. I was there from 10 till around 4, and I don't think I saw everything. In fairness, that was barely enough time. I could really do with a second day there. But yeah, saw lots of things that I liked and wanted to tell you about. So I took some photos where I could, and just thought I'd talk about them. So, first couple of things. Kove 800, or Kove or Kove. It's an interesting one. It's not one I've seen on the road, and it wasn't one I'd seen in the flesh before. But it's a good looking machine, you know. I know it's more of a kind of rally bike. I guess it's an alternative to the Tenere 700 and AJPs and things like that as a kind of full-on rally travel bike. But yeah, it's a good looking machine. And a very good price point as well. I'd certainly have a look at one of those if I was in the market for that kind of bike. I don't know why you don't see many of them. Maybe there's not many dealers around up here, but yeah, very impressive machine. Now oddly, the Kawasaki, the KLE 600 I think it is, that kind of had centre stage. I had a few bikes on the stand to sit on. They had kind of one rotating on a show platform. It's just a bit underwhelming. I mean, it's always going to be very nice, very competent and what have you, but I don't know, that market is kind of fairly flooded with bikes, isn't it? The lightweight adventure bike market now, and they're launching up against things like the 450 GS and others, and you kind of think, well, there was nothing really particularly mind-blowing about it for me. Yeah, it's a nice enough looking bike, but doesn't excite me in any way, shape or form, unfortunately. Excitement, I mean, one thing that I've often liked, well, I do like, I've often thought, well, it would be a good bike for me. When I was learning, actually, I was very, very close to buying one. It's a Ducati Monster. Lovely machines, but I kind of shied away from it, and obviously it's not a practical bike, but there is a new Ducati Monster. New engine, obviously, based on the new V2 platform that I rode in the Multistrada. New styling. And oh boy, does it look good. That is a seriously nice looking machine. Comes with a price tag, but interestingly, you know, being with a naked roadster bike, it's not got the price tag of the Multistrada. It's not a practical bike by any means. I think it was around £12,000 from memory, and I'm sure it goes up quite quickly from there. But yeah, what a beautiful machine, and in that red, the details on it, and obviously the new switchgear and everything else that goes with it, just a lovely looking bike. And in fact, overall, I think it was the roadsters that really kind of caught my attention the most, with one exception which I'll come on to in a bit. But yeah, that Monster, I'd give that serious consideration. If I was looking, I needed an adventure bike, obviously, a sports tour or adventure bike for more distance work, but I do want to keep a second bike, which is what this is for some fun. As and when this comes up for replacement, that would be a seriously interesting proposition. Ducati Monster, very nice. However, there's then the more value proposition, a bit of a guilty pleasure. I have to say, I'd really like the look of the Husqvarna Vitpillen, the kind of scramblery looking one. Seen lots of reviews on that. I wanted to go and ride one back in the summer, and due to my injury, I couldn't actually ride and couldn't make the day, which was disappointing. But it was the Vitpillen, the kind of the more upright one that I was kind of slightly more upright, blacked out, little fly screen on the front, flat round headlight. That was the one I'd been looking at, and I'd ignored the Vitpillen. They had a Vitpillen on the stand there in this neon yellow colour. Oh my word, it's beautiful. And it's kind of £8,500 bike, and I'm sure before long there will be plenty of discounts available, because there have been on the rest of the Husqvarna range. So that is a lot of bike for the money. I mean, I guess that is the equivalent of the 990 Duke, which again gets rave reviews, doesn't it? So a very, very fun bike. And then the rest of the roadsters, I mean, Yamaha, the XSR, that XSR 900, they have one there with a bit of a body kit on it. It just doesn't look, it doesn't get tired, doesn't look old. It is a fantastic looking machine. I know they've updated bits and pieces on it, but I think that looks really fresh still. I do really like that bike. Very, very impressive. I went on the Triumph stand for a bit. Triumph, well, they were busy. Man, you couldn't get near the bikes there. They were just absolutely flooded with people. So I can see they're going to do very well out of that show. But one of the interesting things, it probably went under the radar for a lot of people, is one of the bikes I have been looking at, but kind of discounted, and I think that's still the case, to be fair, but the Tiger 900 Rally Pro. It is a fantastic package for the money against its competitors for what it's got on it, and you know, the reviews, the way it rides. I've not ridden one yet, but I am still tempted. I don't particularly like the look of it, which is why this what pushed me off a little bit, and the potentially the triple bars and things like that. But what I was trying to say, stay on track, was the colours. So it was a kind of a light grey with orange and black before. There's now, it's a really nice kind of blue colour, and I think there's a white one there as well. So yeah, to change the colours for 2026, and I think that's a big improvement. I really like the look of that bike. Still like the look of the Scrambler, and the Scrambler 1200 and the 900 for that matter, but having ridden one earlier in the summer, which I realised I still need to actually edit the review for, it's definitely a bike I've had to discount. But it is a beautiful machine. The engine and the look of it is just fabulous. BMW. So BMW, first one I got on there was a 900 GSA. That thing is big. That is a seriously big bike. It surprised me. I think that's as big as the R1250 used to be, you know. Certainly felt it getting on it. Big old bike. And of course I had the 450 adventure there. There's the GS 450, or whatever it's called, I'm not entirely sure. 450 GS maybe. Yeah, I mean it's priced higher than everything else in its competition, understandably, but you know, the price point's still, is it £7,500–8,000? It's in the right ballpark, and I'm sure that is going to fly out of the showrooms. It's a good looking machine. It looks like a baby DS. It's got all the BMW fixtures and fittings. So I think, you know, whereas some of the other brands like Royal Enfield may have tempted some big bike riders in kind of downsizing or second bikes into a Himalayan, I think BMW are probably going to mop up with that 450. It was getting a lot of interest as well. Not seen any reviews on it yet. I'm guessing as soon as people get on it and they ride it, that'll be confirmed, but I can't see it being a bad bike, can you? So yeah, very interesting machine. But as the rest of the BMW stand, I kind of more enjoyed watching the live riders than I did the looking at the rest of the bikes, because you just couldn't get close to them. One interesting thing though, and I rode that R12 GS recently, I said I'd probably go for a black one. I wouldn't. I saw it they had the black one on the stand. It's awful. It's like a matte black. It just looked horrible. Yeah, just blended in the background, looked old hat compared to everything else there. It looked really utilitarian, like somebody had put a kind of plasticky body kit on it. So yeah, that was a surprise. What else? Well, yeah, the big one, I think for a lot of people, and certainly for me, when I saw the pictures of it coming out from EICMA, the BSA Thunderbolt. What a machine that looks like. I mean, I'm, say, on the verge of getting rid of the Himalayan as a lightweight adventure bike, because I would very much want a middleweight to travel on. But depending on the price point of that thing, I may just have to have one of those. That is a good looking machine, and I think you've seen a lot of press pictures of it, and they all focus on the front end, because the front end is quite distinctive with that kind of dual optic, almost rally-like covered headlight. Yeah, nice looking machine from the front, but actually go around the back of it. I've got some photos I'll put up now. The stance of this thing, the whole position, is just a phenomenal looking machine. They have done such a nice job with that. The dash looks interesting. I hope it works. It's a TFT thing, so let's hope it's a functional one. They just age really badly, don't they, TFTs, unless they're done really well. So I hope they get that right, and I hope that 350 unit is punchy enough in that machine, because yes, I would certainly want to get on one of those. And the Bantams were there. It's funny, I sat on the Bantams and the B65 again on that stand. I think I prefer the Bantam to the B65. It's a really nicely put together machine, that. So yes, BSA, very popular stand, understandable why, and yeah, let's hope they carry on going strength to strength. British brand. Oh, Pathfinder's there. Going very slow. Appreciate they are not building in the UK, but still, yeah, traditional British brand. Fully support that. I hope they bring more manufacturing to the UK. Talking of UK manufacturers and talking of good-looking roadsters, the Langen Lightspeed was there. I mean, they had that set up like a museum, just the bike centre stand. It was very quiet, people looking around it and just taking it in. What a stunning machine. Now, I know they're only going to make 185 of them, and I think it's a 185 kilo bike with 185 brake horsepower. This is one of their marketing things. But my word, it is a beautiful machine. Now, I thought I'd got a photo of the front of it, but I seem to have not clicked the button. So I'll put up some images from the website now, but I did get one of the bars and the switch gear, and just the styling on it is beautiful. I wish I had the money for something like that. I mean, it's CCM on steroids, isn't it? It's just absolutely beautiful. So yeah, that's my dream bike from the show, I guess, is that Langen Lightspeed. My practical bike from the show is probably the BSA Bantam, not BSA Bantam, BSA Thunderbolt. Yeah, more attainable, and still gives you some good feeling from that one. What else? Oh, I didn't mention at the start. So one of the first stands I went on, Zontes, I don't know how you pronounce it. I was interested in the 703 when that came out. ZT703F, their adventure style bike. This is a triple engined, very, very highly spec machine for around £7,000. I mean, pretty hard to beat spec for spec, unless you're looking at some of the other Chinese brands, but I think it's the only one with a triple. I think it's the only one with an internally designed engine, and it's not a copy of anything else, it's their own development. And if you look at Zontes scooters and lower capacity bikes, they're a really good proposition. They look seriously nice, good looking machines, well packaged. They're going to be reasonably reliable as well. So yeah, there's a lot to like about that brand. There's a local dealer, funnily enough, somebody I bought my original V7 Stone from, Matt William Motorcycles up in Leyland, not too far from here. He's the authorised dealer for Zontes up in the northwest, and they have got 703 demonstrators, I think. So yes, I must admit, I hadn't seriously considered it, but I'm coming around to the idea of that bike. It's a good looking machine. I think as an 80s child, there is more than a hint of Lamborghini Countach about the front of it. Something with those lights is kind of, somewhere between a Lamborghini and a Transformer. So I think it has an immediate appeal to a 1980s child like me. One thing I would say is the grey doesn't look that great. In the black, it looks very, very nice. So yeah, interesting. Mark Pulling has a good review on that as well. I know he did. There's not that many reviews of them. I think they're still a bit like hen's teeth, and I don't know if they're getting mainstream popularity yet, but he did a really good ride review on it. I've asked if I could take one out, but so far I've not been able to. Hopefully I'll get on one at some point, because I am really interested to see how it rides. Hopefully I can do that before I purchase my next one, but let's see. I should say, of course, today the roads I'm riding today are not that brilliant, because so I'm heading into Bolton. Bolton a city or a town? I think it's a city, isn't it? Bolton city centre, because curiously the place that says do the Maven test rides is actually an e-bike store, and I think that probably just goes to show that it is closer to an e-bike than a motorbike, isn't it? So yeah, unfortunately not the prettiest of roads this morning. Thank you for bearing with me. Lots of traffic and queuing. So what else? So KTM had the new 1390 Adventure on the stand. Very imposing looking machine. Big new 1390 Duke type light on the front of it. Looks pretty smart. I would say is the tablet display on it is absolutely massive. I mean, it is just a tablet on wheels, I think. I'm sure he's going to have monstrous power and be ultra comfortable, big adventure bike, but my word, it's expensive, and KTM is still not that pretty, is it? So there's a lot of other bikes I'd like more than that, I think. And honestly, if I was going for a big adventure bike, I'm not sure that would be the one. But anyway, digress. So what else did I see? Oh, Norton. So yeah, Norton's had more new bikes from Norton. Now, one thing that surprised me is actually the stand wasn't all that busy. Maybe a bit niche, I don't know. I wasn't sure about them from seeing the press images from EICMA. I don't know that it was my cup of tea. Maybe it's just the colour. Something about it. It kind of looked like a cartoon character bike. I can't quite place it, but yeah, something about it. The Norton Atlas didn't quite ring true to me. But actually seeing it in the flesh, it's quite a nice looking machine. It's good design. It's possibly a little bit on the blingy side, and potentially when you, especially when you're sat in on it, the kind of cockpit design is very flashy, probably a bit confusing to use. So yeah, there was that. I don't know when they launch, but I'd be very interested to see what people make of those. And of course there's the big one, the one that everyone's talking about, the new Honda, the CB1000 GT. It doesn't do anything for me. I went and had a look at it on the stand. It's a great package, the value's there. I know that engine, the Fireblade engine, would be phenomenal. I'd rather have a Fireblade or the Hornet. It just, yeah, it doesn't do a lot for me. I think it's kind of inherited the Kawasaki Versys looks, and I'm sure it's for aerodynamics, but yeah, the typical Honda display. If I was going to have a Honda, I'd probably go with the Transalp. I think actually overall it's a nicer looking machine, and probably got 90% of the touring capability of that one. So yeah, a bit disappointed with that one, but again, it was flooded with people. You couldn't really get near it, so I'm sure that will be a very popular machine. Alright, so nearly there. So let me just jump on and do this Maven test ride, and then I will get back on this and carry on talking about the Motorcycle Live Show. And there it is, the Maven. That's the two-seater. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I'm riding the R1S today. Obviously, I'll record it and put up a video. Right, see you in a second. Anyway, what were we talking about before I stopped? We were talking about the NEC Motorcycle Live, and of course one thing I didn't get onto, my very favourite of the stands, and naturally it was Royal Enfield, and I spent a good amount of time there. Obviously had my nice free coffee as part of the Riders Club of Europe offer, which is a lovely little touch. That was a very welcome break in the middle of the day to go and have a coffee on their stand. There's a proper barista working there, and had a chat with some nice gents there, all kind of all queuing up there with pictures of our bikes out, ready to prove that we own Royal Enfield and part of the Riders Club. So of course you naturally then start talking to the people next year about their bikes. So yeah, really interesting. And of course they had quite a lot on display. So they had the new Mana Black Himalayan. I didn't actually even take a photo. It's just a Himalayan, and the colour, actually I don't like it. I like the black one obviously, but my problem with it is I don't actually like the graphics on the Camel white one, those kind of funny mountainous graphics. It's the same on that black, so yeah, not for me, but it's still a lovely looking Himalayan. But what I did like, so one of the things they had there, new Royal Enfield Guerrilla colours, that green and black, now green, black, green, grey, really nice looking machine. Now it's a bit muted, admittedly, it is a bit muted compared to the quite vibrant colours of the existing colours, but I really like it. I think it looks very, very sleek in that colour, so in the matte finish, very nice looking bike. There was a Meteor there in a nice deep red kind of maroony colour. Again, really like the look of that bike. But then you have the specials, so the special edition ones, and one of the things they had there was the 125-year edition of the classic 650, and I'll put a picture up now. As you can see, fully blacked out, but with a very interesting paint scheme on it. The paint was impressive, obviously that kind of chameleon type paint. Not for me. I wouldn't want that. I'd much rather have seen a nice paint job, because I think rather than having a trick paint like that, because as much as it's a bit of a showstopper there under bright lights, I think it'd be a bit of a nightmare to own and maintain, and if you get a scratch in that, you're absolutely knackered. So yeah, not for me. But it's a fully blacked out Royal Enfield Classic, which was interesting, and for me that is what the Bullet 650 should have been. They have not blacked out the Bullet. There's obviously got to be kind of polished metal engine casings, and for me that Classic 650, the anniversary edition, is what the Bullet should be. I'll tell you what, this is quite solid over some of these rippled pothole roads. Nice when you get out on the country lanes, because it handles nicely because of it, but it's actually quite firm. I know it's still new, so it'll soften up a bit anyway. So what else? So Royal Enfield stands. So they also had the two Flying Fleas there. They had the more scrambly looking one, and they had the standard one. I'd be looking at the standard one, in honesty. I don't think I need the scrambly one. I wouldn't be looking at the neon colours that you'll see in the photo I'm putting on now. That, for me, it doesn't look great, but there is a more classically styled one that they have. I'll try and find a picture of that and put it up now as well, with a kind of green and silver finish to it. That would be the one I'd be after. But something I just talked about on the Maving ride is my problem with it. I've been waiting to see what the charging mechanism was going to be, hoping it would be a Type 2 charger, but no, it looks like it's going to be a standard 3-pin charging socket, which is a bit of a disappointment for me, because I'm awash with Type 2 charging infrastructure for free. So the fact that I have to plug it into my garage gives me a space limitation and prevents it from being free of charge to charge at work for me. So yeah, a bit of an issue. One thing I would say about it though is the detail is lovely. As it should be, because they've seem to be working on it forever. But yeah, little things like you see the emblem in the light fitting there, things like that. I think they really make a real difference to the look of the bike. So very nice to see that. And so that girder suspension, I think it looks impressive. The whole design of the bike is very nice, and you consider to what I've just been on Maving, I'm guessing it's going to be one of their strong competition, so one of their competitors. I think it really does hold its own. It's not as kind of classic looking as the Maving, but it is a lovely looking machine. So yeah, interested to see if they finally give us a launch day on that soon. I thought maybe once it wasn't at EICMA, maybe we'll see it at Motoverse, but it doesn't seem to have been there. Obviously, now the big thing missing from the stand for me was the Himalayan 750. I'd been really hoping to see the Himalayan 750 and see it launched at EICMA and then get some details on it at the NEC, but unfortunately, looks like we're heading for a 2027 launch, doesn't it? And regrettably, for me, that probably rules it out. I really want to change this year. So yeah, I'll be moving to a different brand for the time being. Maybe a year or two I'll come back to a Himalayan 750 once I've had a chance to ride it and see what it's all about. But I think at this point in time I'd have actually put my money down and just ordered one. But yeah, you can put a deposit on one now, but there's no launch dates or anything, so yeah, a bit of a shame. I'm sure I was not the only one hoping to see that. So what else for the show then? Well, as I say, I was looking for some gear, so I spent quite a lot of time looking around the trade stands, and there were some good bargains to be had. There always is. I mean, there was, for example, I'd nearly succumbed to another Shui helmet. I didn't in the end because I want something a bit more classic looking, I think. But yeah, I mean, they had Neotech 3s there for just shy of £400, which is, yeah, really good value. So yeah, some bargains to be had. I ended up with Nox stuff in the end. I've gone for the Nox armoured shirts and over jacket, and unusually I even managed to get a discount out of them. So previous years Nox haven't really discounted very much other than models which were being discontinued, but they did this time, which was nice. So yeah, I walked away with some new gear, which is great. I spent a lot of time with Spada though. Spada, not sure how you pronounce it. Really nice gear. The sizing is a bit variable. I tried on pretty much every jacket they have, I think, and yeah, I ranged from large to 2XL depending on the particular jacket. But yes, I will certainly have another look at their gear. I was torn between some of them, and I may well get one of their hoodies as just a kind of casual riding thing. But I've gone for, say, the Nox Tour stuff with the overcoat, so I'm actually wearing it now. I've just put a kind of old padded work shirt over the top of it, and I've got this kind of armoured Nox Tour shirt underneath, and it's very comfy, nice to ride in. Doesn't feel anywhere near as bulky as my riding jacket, so all good. Asked about a couple of things on the Moscow Moto stand, and wow, that's some expensive gear, isn't it? So I walked away from that pretty quickly. Now, one thing did surprise me. I think I've possibly said before, definitely commented on other people's videos before about base layers. I've always bought cheap base layers, like just sports ones. Yeah, for kind of £10-15 a piece. I've never bought proper motorcycle base layers. But I was having a look on the Zero Fit stand, and noticed they had some pretty thick ones, which, given what I've just bought with the Nox armour, I thought, well, yeah, maybe some thicker base layers underneath it will be quite good in winter. And I got talking to the guy on the stand there. He explained all the different products, and yeah, I've ended up buying a couple of their things as well. So different grades for the legs and the top. But I've been wearing them on the Himalayan, and also I've been wearing them watching the kids football and walking the dog thing. They are really impressive because it wasn't as expensive as I'd imagine. There was some obviously trade show discounts to be had, which helped. Very, very impressive gear. So yeah, really enjoyed the show. I highly recommend it if you haven't been before. Worth the trip to Birmingham. Very, very busy, so brace yourself for that. I went midweek, took a day off work. I definitely wouldn't fancy a weekend one because it's going to be even worse. But yeah, I thoroughly enjoyable day out. I look forward to going again. So what else is coming up? Well, I'm currently editing and actually still recording some little bits and pieces I want to say about the Himalayan, because I've had that more than 12 months now. In fact, I've kind of about 13-14 months, I think. Done about 3,500 miles on it, so I thought it was about time I did a review on it. So that's in process. I've got a test ride on another midweight adventure bike, which I'm in editing, so I'll get that up soon as well, hopefully. As I mentioned earlier, I have got a ride on the Scrambler 1200, which I did in the summer but never got around to editing, so I'll get that on as well. What else? Oh, and of course, yeah, you see, look in the shotgun, as well as running in, I've got a box full of bits to put on the bar end mirrors, the seats, the subguard, things like that. So I really must get some time in the garage to actually put all that stuff that I bought onto the bike. First thing I've done, I've bought a garage door seal strip because I found trying to work out in there in the winter is freezing. So I've got to seal the garage door first, and then I'll be able to do some work out there. But yeah, looking forward to getting that kind of stuff sorted. I might even record it, not something I've done before, but yeah, let me know any interest in seeing those extras be fitted to the bike. I will happily record whilst I do it and show you what a hash I make of it all. But that's about it for now. So yeah, thank you very much for watching this. Hope you've enjoyed it, and I'll see you on the next one.